What's up, guys? My name is TaiZen. Welcome to the cryptocurrency.market channel. This is a trading, investing, and entrepreneurship channel. In this video, guys, I want to talk a little bit about the entrepreneurship side of our channel. I want to share with you guys why myself and my two business partners, the Honorable Grandmaster, legendary, world-renowned LeonFu.com, and my third business partner, David Fong, why we chose to build our business around educational products, or in the world of internet marketing, it's called information products. Okay, so let me share a little background of where each of us came from and why we chose to go down this route, and maybe it will help you guys understand, and maybe it'll help you guys make better business decisions in your business. Okay, so let's just take let's start with Leon first. Okay, so Leon is a senior level software engineer. He's an iOS developer and one of the best on the planet that you'll ever run into. He's like one of the absolute highest paid iOS developers working at Dell Computers, building iOS software for them. And they offered him a management level role that was he was making like close to $200,000 a year, and they were offering a role to manage other developers, a team of developers. And I think they were offering it to him like around close to like $400,000 a year with bonuses and everything. So I think that was somewhere along the lines. But he didn't like managing people, having to deal with different, a couple dozen developers and engineers. So he passed it up. Plus, he and I were making more money from trading and investing in cryptocurrencies without having to manage people. So he preferred to do that and pass up the gig to be a team leader at Dell Computers. Okay, so now one thing that Leon always, he was a firm believer in software. Okay, he's been a software engineer all his life, and he believes in software because it's something that you can create. The bulk of it can be done once, and then there's maintenance that requires it afterwards. But then you can resell that software over and over and over, like the Windows operating system, like the Microsoft Office software. You can just make it one time and resell it, and then you can update it, and then next year sell the updates again and make more money from it, right? So there was always something, and once there was a huge upfront cost to build the software, but then after the software was built, right, the ongoing cost was minimal and the profit margins were high. Okay, the biggest expense is advertising and sales and marketing, and then after that it's pretty much a high profit margin business. Okay, now that's Leon. So he's always had a fascination with building software, and he saw the potential, the profit potential in building software. Now, me and my business partner, David Fong, we used to work at a trading school, right? We were students of a trading school in America, and we came there as trading students, and we paid a bunch of money. And when I say a bunch of money, we're talking about like, starting out at $10,000 and then moving up, to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for the trading courses to learn how to trade stocks, Forex, futures, options, and asset classes like that. Okay, and we did really well, and eventually, we got hired. I got hired as one of the trading coaches there to help coach students, right? So I would sell the classes, and then David would teach the classes, and then afterwards I would be the one that's coaching them to make sure that they're doing what David taught them in the stock trading classes and the options classes and things like that, right? So we did that for many years, and during that time, right, I noticed that the school was opening up a real estate course to teach people how to invest into real estate, and David was responsible for building all their financial calculators related to real estate trading and investing, right? And I noticed that he was doing that, and he built some really good financial calculators for the school, and after months of hard work, right, they paid him like a couple $100, $200-300 as a what do you call that? As a pat on the back, like, hey, great job. And I remember talking to David, and I said, dude, you spent months building all these financial calculators, and all they paid you was a couple $100, $200-300. I said, I would have paid you that for those financial calculators that you built for them to invest in real estate, right? And I said, that's a damn shame that you did all that, and now all you got was a few $100. And he goes, yeah, it sucks, man. And David kept talking about, one of these days he's going to build financial products that he's going to be proud of and that he gets to own and gets to get royalties on instead of building it for somebody else. Now, I asked him, why is that? And David told me that he used to work for Microsoft on the Xbox project. Many of you guys know the popular video game console, Xbox, and David used to work at Microsoft as one of their engineers to do, I think, quality testing or product development, something with the Xbox product, right? And he said that he helped them, the company, Microsoft, get several patents on the Xbox project. And it took years to get those patents, and it was not easy to get a patent in the US for something new, especially in software development. And David was very proud that he was able to work on the Xbox project and help them get several patents for their Xbox project. And he would tell me all the time, he said, damn, I spent years, working on building that intellectual property for Microsoft, and then he goes, I have nothing to show for it, and I got nothing out of it. And he goes, but I don't hold a grudge against them, because when I signed on to work at Xbox, right, I worked on there for a salary, right? I didn't, sign up to work to get the patents and all the other intellectual property that I was building for them, okay? And he would tell me all the time that, he wished that, he dreamed of someday having his own intellectual property that he can resell, he can relicense, that he could sell over and over. And it was ironic, not ironic, but it was interesting that he said that, because I told him the same thing. I said, hey, for many years I was a personal trainer, and I really respect all the personal trainers who have like video workout routines where they would sell their training products, and even if it's for $30 or $50 per video, they would sell it over and over and over. And I really respected how Billy Blanks did the Taebo boxing and all that stuff, and he made millions of dollars selling a really good workout product. And he was able to shoot the video. It probably cost him a bunch of money to get that quality production, and then after that he was able to resell it over and over and over all his life. And I thought that was really cool. And I said, I always dreamed of doing something like that also. And many of you guys know that I came as a Vietnamese refugee to America, and I grew up in the black ghetto neighborhoods in America, grew up very poor, hung around the wrong people, and then got involved in drugs and went to federal prison for nearly 14 years. And what turned my life around in federal prison was when another prisoner gave me a book called Unlimited Power by Tony Robbins. And that was the first time that I heard someone talk about transforming your mind and your belief system to a positive mindset to create a better quality of life and have more success and more wealth in life. And that's the book that turned my life around, was Unlimited Power. And then after that, I bought some more of Tony Robbins' other books and products, especially the one called Personal Power 2, the cassette tapes. And I'm probably one of the first U.S. prisoners to smuggle the Personal Power 2 cassette tapes into prison, into 3 different prisons in America, okay? So every prison I went to, after I found out about it, I wanted to keep listening to it over and over, so I would smuggle those cassette tapes into the prison, right? I would pay the drug dealers to bring it in so I can listen to it over and over and over. And the drug dealers thought I was just outright stupid crazy, because the cassette tapes are like, the whole case was like this big. And when I first approached them to smuggle it in for me, they thought I was completely retarded, because people were trying to smuggle cocaine and heroin and marijuana into the prison, and here I was smuggling Tony Robbins cassette tapes into the prison to listen to it. They thought it was so stupid, right, that I would waste time and money to smuggle it in like that. But that same time that I could pay to smuggle all those cassette tapes in, I could smuggle a bunch of narcotics drugs in and make a shitload of money, but I didn't. I paid for them to bring those cassette tapes in, because I knew that if I didn't have any positive words in prison, so I knew that if I kept listening to Tony Robbins and what he was saying about changing my mind, I would listen to it over and over. At one point I was pretty much listening to it and just repeating in my mind, like, you know, whatever he said, I would just repeat after it, because I knew that, you know, I realized that my mindset was what kept me poor, and that I knew that if I just reprogram my mind, and that was the only voice that I trusted and I knew at that time. I didn't know about other people like, you know, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I didn't know about, you know, the Millionaire Mindset with T. Harv Eker. I didn't know about, you know, Brian Tracy. I didn't know about, you know, Joe Vitale. You know, I didn't know about any of those guys. The only person I knew at that time was Tony Robbins. That's why I just focused on that. And I just have this belief that, hey, you know, it was good enough. It was good enough for me to transform my mind, so that's why I stuck to it. And I was fascinated that, what fascinated me and what inspired me about reading the book Unlimited Power and listening to those personal power cassette tapes over and over and over. I don't know how many times I listened to it, or how many times, you know, I smuggled in a cassette player, a Walkman, you know, and I kept it on me, and I was walking around the track and I was running. People thought I was listening to the radio or something, but I was listening to Tony Robbins the whole time, and I would repeat the words that he kept saying over and over. I would repeat it and repeat it and repeat it, you know, and I knew that if I said it enough times, it would transform my mind, and which, you know, obviously it did, because I was able to come out after, you know, nearly 14 years in federal prison, and being a high school dropout, no college degree and everything, I still rose to the top 1% of America, you know, in wealth. So I believe that, you know, it worked, you know, whether people said it worked or not, it was just all in my mind, I really don't give a shit. For me, it worked, okay? But the lesson that I learned there, in addition to reprogramming my mind for wealth, I learned that, hey man, you know, I really like this. I really like the fact that this book, Unlimited Power, transformed my life. And I knew that, hey, you know, someday I would like to write a book like that and be able to sell that book too. You know, and I said, hey, you know, this book is like 15, 20 bucks or whatever it was that it cost at that time. I said, wouldn't that be great if I had my own book and I share my journey as a poor, broke-ass Vietnamese refugee that came to America and became successful. You know, I have my own rags to riches story, and I thought, man, that would be awesome if someday I could write a book like that and share it with the world, and for, you know, 20 bucks, I can share it with the world, and I get compensated 20 bucks each time I share this story with somebody else. And that really blew my mind. And I didn't know for sure, you know, I shared that with other trusted prisoners that I shared the book with, that liked the book also. And I shared with them my dreams about, you know, someday putting together a book or a cassette tape or a CD that I could sell to other people. And it would be a win-win. Like I would sell my life experience of how I became, you know, rags to riches, you know, as a Vietnamese refugee, and I could get paid 20 bucks for it. And then the other person that bought my program would benefit tremendously from the life lessons and the mistakes and the experiences that I went through in my life to become wealthy. And that was something that I always dreamed of. I put notes in. You know, I wrote down notes of what I would talk about in my book, what I would talk about in my CD. I never knew what YouTube was. I never knew that someday that, I never even imagined that someday that I could just put a camera in front of me like this and just talk to a camera and then broadcast it out to the rest of the world, you know, to thousands of people at no cost to me. You know what I'm saying? I never, even in my wildest dreams, you know, when I was in the hole for months in prison, when I was, you know, in there all lonely, and when I was frustrated, when I didn't know what day that I would ever be out of prison, you know, when I was scared as shit in there, I never in any of those times imagined that I would be someday just sitting in front of a camera and share my message with the rest of the world. And so today, you know, like if the Thai from 20 years ago could see the Thai today, if the Thai that was sitting in the hole at 19 years old could see the Thai today at almost 49 years old today, you know, doing this and broadcasting and changing people's lives with his message today, you know, it would be unbelievable. Like if you came to the hole when I was at 18 years old, right, and said, hey Ty, you know, stay strong, you know, don't give up, stay mentally strong. Someday, you know, your life experiences is going to transform other people's lives, and there'll be thousands and thousands, you know, there'll be over 100,000 people following you on Twitter, on YouTube, in English, in Vietnamese, in Spanish, right? And you're going to help transform their lives of over 100,000 people that follow you on a constant basis. That would be like so foreign to me and so unreal to me. And I'll talk about this in a different video, you know, but that would seem so strange to me that as I was sitting there waiting to go to trial and knowing that I would be spending most of my life in federal prison and never seeing daylight, for a very, very long time. It'd be very hard for me to see that, to envision that, and for you to say that, oh, you're going to be sharing your message, about your life experiences and how you transform your life, by changing your mind in Spanish and in Vietnamese. At that time, I probably spoke Vietnamese like a second grader, and at that time I spoke Spanish like I didn't even know any Spanish except for like how to count, to 10 or something, right? So it'd be very difficult for me to believe that at 18 years old that, 30 years later, when I'm 48 years old, that I would be broadcasting in 3 different languages to over 100,000 people around the world. Okay, it'd be so, unbelievable to me. But that's also a lesson for you guys to, so that you guys learn that no matter how you are struggling today, if you keep at it and you keep learning and you keep improving yourself, you will eventually reach your goals. And not only will you reach your goals and your dreams, but you will way surpass it beyond what you could ever imagine. Trust me. At 18 years old, sitting in the hole, waiting to go to trial for drugs, right? I never imagined that this day could possibly happen, okay? That I would be broadcasting to over 100,000 people in 3 different languages to help transform their lives, okay? So don't give up on your dreams. Don't let the stupid ass trolls out there prevent you from working towards what you want in your life, okay? So I share this with you guys, okay, because about what happened to me and what happened to my business partner LeonFood.com and what happened to David Fong. And when we met each other, I remember and David and I still talk about this to this day. He and I were sent by the trading school to New York City, and we were in New York City. And I remember he and I was riding through the LIRR, I think it's called, the Long Island Rail, the LIRR, the Long Island Railroad, right? We were taking the train from Long Island into Times Square, and David and I was just walking around. We were walking around, we were looking at all the city lights, and we were looking at it, and we were talking about, man, we were talking about how we grew up in different parts of the world. David grew up in Canada, I grew up in the state of Texas, and we were just, regular Asian dudes that dreamed of, someday, working on Wall Street, teaching, learning, going to Wall Street, learning trading, learning investing, and we never thought that someday that we would actually get there, and not only we get there to Wall Street and learn trading and investing, but turn around and teach other people like us about trading and investing. So we were walking around Times Square in New York City, and we were just enjoying the lights, enjoying the night. And keep in mind, we were done teaching people at around like 4 o'clock, and we came out there, we ate and everything, and from like 5, 6 o'clock, we just roamed around until about midnight in Times Square. And it's not like we did anything crazy. We just walked around, and we just, just 2 guys just walking around New York City and just talking about how we had childhood goals of making money, and here we is, in New York City, in the heart of finances in the world, in the strongest financial district in the world, and here we are, making money and living our dream and helping other people do the same thing. But there was one thing that Eric and I mean not Eric, but David and I talked about. We said, hey man, we talked about, one of these days, it'd be nice if we had our own course, our own books, our own CDs, our own DVDs. And we talked about that. And we talked about this because David had mentioned that him and one of his buddies, right, from Microsoft had previously tried to build an app, build a personal app of theirs and try to sell it. And they failed at it because things didn't work out. They didn't know about business and marketing, didn't have experience. So it didn't work. And I said, really? And David said, yeah, I tried to build this app, I always am a firm believer in software. And I said, you know what? It's interesting, David, that you and my friend Leon in Austin, Texas, at that time, David did not know who Leon was, and Leon did not know who David was. And I said, hey, it's interesting that you and my friend Leon, the guy that broadcasts on our channel, on our YouTube channel, both of you guys have such a strong conviction and belief about software development and software sales. You know, and David said, yeah, man, you know, I worked on the Xbox project and I saw how a shitload of money they made on the Xbox project, and that always inspired me, you know. And he said, and he told me about, that's when he told me about all the patents that he helped get for the Xbox project, and how he wished that he always regretted spending time building software for other people. He always regretted building the financial calculators for other people, the patents for other people, the software for other people. Basically, I asked him, I said, basically, you're tired of building intellectual property for other people and you want to build it for yourself. And he said, yeah, man, yeah, I've always wanted to do that. And I said, Leon wants to do the same thing, and I want to do the same thing. And he said, really? But you don't know anything about software? And I said, I don't, but I do know about educational products, right? And I'm a firm believer in information products or education products, because they are all zeros and ones. And I explained to David, I said, hey man, you know, if you think about it, whether it's software, whether it's information products, whether it's courses, whether it's books, whether it's DVDs, CDs, music, songs, hip hop songs, pop culture songs, all this stuff is nothing more than, you know, manufacturing zeros and ones, right? Because that's all data is. All the digital data is nothing but zeros and ones. And I said, it's interesting that you have this attraction towards building, manufacturing zeros and ones and selling it, because I've had that, and so is Leon. So at that time, I remember we jumped on a three-way call with leonfood.com in Austin, Texas, and that was when the first time I introduced Leon. I said, hey, this is my coworker David right here, and you know, I explained about his Microsoft background, his Xbox background, and now he's teaching, you know, people how to trade background. And then I told David all about Leon, and David had watched a bunch of videos of me and Leon already, so he had a fairly good idea who Leon was. And that night, I remember in, I think it was 2015, I think it was either late 2015 or early 2016, right? That was when myself, David Fong, and leonfood.com, the Honorable Grandmaster, legendary, world-renowned Oracle of crypto, right? The three of us made a verbal commitment to become business partners, okay? And this was like in 2015, 2016. I can't remember the exact times and dates, okay? I just remember that we were in New York City, and we made the three-way call. And after we made the call, I said, you know, we agreed, okay, let's get together and build and manufacture some zeros and ones. And we agreed that at that time, because so many people had asked us to invest into our, to give us money to invest in the cryptocurrency market, we decided, hey, you know, since 2/3 of the team, which is me and David, already teach people how to trade stocks, why don't we create a course on how to teach people how to trade in cryptocurrencies, okay? So at that time, when David was working for the stock trading school, he had like a non-compete clause somehow, I don't know, but where he couldn't create a course or teach people how to trade because he was already working for the school. There was a non-compete clause, right, that he couldn't go out and do his own. So at that time, even though I was working for the school, I was not a teacher like he was. I was one of the trading coaches and one of the sales guys that worked there, and I was selling the courses. So I had a different non-compete agreement than they did, okay? So because of that, I was the one, and because I knew I had more experience in trading Bitcoins and cryptocurrencies than David did, right? Even though we were both traders, I had more experience, I had more real world experience than he did. I was the one who ended up creating the course for us, right? And that was how we got together, and that's how we decided to come together, build our company, cryptocurrency.market, and manufacture zeros and ones, and whether it was in the form of educational courses, educational products, or in the form of software, we would put that out there. Now, you know, for the last year and a half, we've been trying to build this Taifu indexes software. It's a portfolio management software to help traders and investors look at the real world data that actually helps you make a buy, sell, or hold decision. You know, we got a lot of places out there that have market data, but they're not organized in a way that helps a trader or investor make those 4 critical decisions. Do I buy now? Do I sell? Do I hold? Or do I stay out? Those are the only 4 actions or 4 decisions that a trader or investor can make in any market. And so we've been working on that software for a year and a half, and we're hoping to go to market with it very, very soon. Okay, so that is how we came, as me and David and Leon came together to start our company, cryptocurrency.market, to build educational products and software to help traders and investors, because that's what we're good at, that's what we have a lot of experience in, and that's what we focus on. Now, I share this whole story with you guys about our background, how we came together as business partners, so that when you guys go out there and build your product or your service, ask yourself why you're building it. We wanted to build zeros and ones and resell it because we like the idea that, hey, we have a startup cost, an upfront cost, and then once we build that product, then we have a recurring revenues that we can resell over and over. For example, if you wanted to get a copy of our cryptocurrency investing blueprint so you know how to manage a 7, 8, and 9-figure portfolio like we do, right? Then you can go to www.cryptocurrency.market/blueprint and get you a copy. And when you buy that copy of the blueprint, we get recurring revenues coming in each month, each year, and I don't see it ever going away because we already invested a huge upfront cost to build it, and now we can get recurring revenues on it on a constant basis without me having to go out there and sell it over and over and over every day in person. We've made it online, we've automated it, so now it can continue selling for us. Okay, so that's the reason. Just to recap, the reasons why we wanted something that we could resell recurring avenues, low expenses. Obviously, there's a huge upfront cost to build it. The first one the first cryptocurrency investing blueprint that we built, it costed us over roughly about $100,000 before we were able to finally take it to market and sell it for the first time online. Okay, the idea that it was a information product, and it did not take up we didn't need an office, we didn't need shelf space, we didn't need a warehouse to warehouse any of this stuff. It's all online, it's all digital, and it's all zeros and ones that we can remanufacture over and over and over, okay? And we wanted a product that we can constantly update without any problems. So like, let's say we manufacture a car, the time for us to update it takes a long time, whereas when we build an educational course, such as the cryptocurrency investing blueprint, it was something that we can update constantly and constantly. And it was something that we can update once and feed it out to all our clients and all our customers. If we were to manufacture a car, for example, and we mess up a steering wheel or the brakes or something, we would have to recall all the products and then upgrade it and then send it all back out, and that would be a huge cost, and that was not something we wanted. So we believe, since our team comes from the majority of our team comes from a software background, we believe massively in automation. And then that's the reason why we went down the path of building information products, manufacturing zeros and one, and creating trading courses and trading software to help our clients and our customers. And that's what we're good at. That's what we want. It fulfills our needs. We can be location independent. We don't have to have a permanent staff that come to the office every day. We hate that idea. We don't want a large staff. We don't want an office. We don't want a business building. We don't want none of that. We want it to be all virtual and everybody work from home or from the beach or wherever they're at. I'm over here at our luxury apartment complex here in District 7 in the city of Ho Chi Minh City in southern Vietnam in Southeast Asia. So here I am. I get to make these videos in the morning before I go up and do my jogging and my walking. And that's what we wanted. That's the lifestyle that we wanted. And the ability to manufacture zeros and ones and create information products was something that that fulfilled our business goals and our personal lifestyle goals. So if you like this video, make sure you follow me on Twitter at TaiZen. If you have questions or suggestions for future entrepreneurship videos in the cryptocurrency space, leave your suggestions in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. I think like 40% of you guys are watching our videos but not subscribed to our channel. I have no idea why, right? I'm curious to know why. Leave your comments in the channel so we can know why. Our goal is to get this channel over 100,000 subscribers this year. So you can help us out and you can contribute to the success of this channel by subscribing to our channel and click on the bell icon so that you get notified whenever we come out new videos. Also, if you have friends, family, relatives, or anyone that are looking to invest and trade in the cryptocurrency space, make sure you tell them to go get a copy of our cryptocurrency investing blueprint so that they don't get slaughtered in the market, so they do everything right, okay, and increase the probability of making life-changing profits in the cryptocurrency space. And if you have friends or family that are looking to start a business or go into business or become an entrepreneur, make sure you share this video with them so that they understand, they can learn the thought processes that we went through to build our business and become successful, and so that they don't have to waste time building 58 websites before they actually have one that is successful. Okay, so thanks for watching this video, guys, and I'll see you guys in a future video. Thank you.